Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using code NEST. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Hello, and welcome to another session of Behind Enemy Lines with my very good friend and co-host, where we got co-talent, I suppose, over on the NFC West. I've been working with him for well over a year and had a great time doing so as well. Mike, back in the house, or also maybe known to you as AZ Sports Fan. It's good to have you back in, Mike.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. Every time we're going to chop it up, talking Cardinals versus Seahawks. I love to jump on here. Obviously, the Cardinals didn't win, and we'll probably talk about that a little later on. But yeah, I mean, this is a good time. I'm excited to talk about this matchup. A really quick turnaround, and I'm ready to dive into it, man.
Well, the Niners got us too. They're just, they like to. I think Jake likes to call us the roach of the division, but I mean, they just can't. You just keep stepping on that team. They lose one after another. It doesn't seem to matter. They still beat you. It's kind of horrible in certain respects. Like, go away, just go away for a few years. But your team is seemingly started out 2-0. It has a little bit of a better beginning this year than last year. A little easier schedule than last year, which was very daunting to start out for you guys. We're heading to a Thursday night game, and I think that this is always one of the things we talk about going into any game. But this becomes, unfortunately, with these Thursday night games, part of why I don't like them particularly much all the time. The injury side becomes more of the lead foot, so to speak, before we get to the actual strategy, if you were. Yeah. So where are we at right now with your Cardinal team on some of these injury fronts? As you are kind of going through it, is the NFL's been this sort of been all across the board this year. It seems like we're so early in the season, so many teams with so many injuries.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals got the injury bug, and it kind of came up out of nowhere, especially before these 49ers game. Now, we all know that the Cardinals have been struggling with keeping the cornerbacks healthy. We had two of them go down with Starling Thomas, as well as Sean Murphy-Bunting before the regular season even started. And then you had that specific game in week 2 where everybody kind of like a domino effect went down. But thankfully, Max Melton was able to go here in week 3. But Will Johnson, there almost kind of seemed like there was a speculation about him going, but with the short game, it almost made sense that they were going to just rest him and most likely have him start here in Thursday Night Football versus the Seattle Seahawks. Now, as of right now, we don't exactly know if he's going to be a go, but the biggest shock to me was probably waking up on Sunday morning. And we did see the injury report on Friday where Paris Johnson Jr., our left tackle, was on there, but I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal that he was going to be missing a game. And, lo and behold, he was out there on Sunday in terms of warming up on the field, but they made him inactive and they ruled him out. So we were out a lot of players, and I don't want to name any excuses, right? The 49ers had a plethora of injuries as well. And, they're the ones that really deal with it, even dating back until last year as well. So the Cardinals are going through it. Absolutely. But yeah, like Jonathan Gannon says, nobody's going to feel sorry for us, right? I mean, we are in the business to try to make things work with the players that we have on this roster. So I wholeheartedly believe that as well. And let's see what the Arizona Cardinals do. But right now, those are the biggest unknowns heading into week 4. And on top of that, our quote-unquote third wide receiver in Zay Jones had a concussion, which I believe was sustained in that last game. It was that last play where Kyler Murray ended up throwing out, and it was a crucial, we got to get this first down, and if we do, we could probably bleed out the time and win the game. But when he caught it and it came out of his hand, I think he sustained a concussion there. So he's questionable as well. So right now, our wide receivers are going to be Marv, Michael Wilson, and Greg Dortch if Zay Jones can't go. So, yeah, you've been talking about it for a long time in the wide receiving core and what the Cardinals have been dealing with. So have we as well. And unfortunately, Monty Austin is just sitting on his hands. We don't understand it. We don't get it, but we're just kind of rolling through the punches at this point.
Well, I mean, you can't say I didn't warn you in regards to both the receiver situation and the cornerback room. I told you on both that this was going to be problematic, and it's been problematic. And it's not because, look, the reason I brought it up and I've been so hard on it with Mike is not to rub your nose in the fact that you guys are blah, blah. It is that the reason I'm doing that is because if I, as kind of this amateurish guy and looking at this situation, can see this whole opening up so much, so high, so big, your general manager should be seeing this as well. It doesn't reach the spot where I've got some real keen insight here. It's right. This is something that, come on, guys, like you can't ignore this, and you can't be sitting on a ton of cap space as you have ignored it. That's where it becomes, I think, doubly bad.
No, you got a valid point. And I think, Cardinal fans as well as, podcasters, they've been calling for a very long time. And that's one of the biggest mysteries as to why we came into the season with obviously the same wide receiving core that didn't really do that great last year. And we literally copied and pasted. Like that's what we did. I don't understand it. I really wish the media could kind of hound Monty Austin for, but that's just not the forte here in Arizona sports, unfortunately. But like that's a big mystery. I don't get it. I don't understand it. We've been jumping and I've been making multiple videos about it too. And unfortunately, Monty Austin for, like I said, just sitting on his hands, and we got open cap space, right? At least per over the cap. We got money. It's just, I don't understand, man. I don't know if it's Michael Bidwell just tightening up the purse strings. I don't know, but yeah, it's a big issue for sure.
Yeah, it's just somewhat of a strange thing. And certainly I can understand counting on some of the development from Harrison, that you put the draft capital in that one, but just supplement it a little bit. No. Does sound like, to your point, he was A. Jones. He had overtaken Dortch, who was the longtime slot guy there. So I think that also speaks to the team recognizing that the in-house isn't working with what we've got here. Maybe all the more reason for them to go out and try to go make and look for a trade. Is there a guy out there that you've looked out through the NFL landscape that may be on a team right now that is not doing as well, that might become available, that has you interested? Be it with the Raiders guy out there, forget his name, who's looking for a contract.
Jacoby. Yeah. He's really the main one that I have my eye on right now. It's unfortunate because like I found myself under the Monty Ossenfort regime doing these deep dives and making videos, and it makes good content. Let's be real, but like he never does it. Like that's the problem. It's almost kind of feel like I'm speaking out to the existence, and a lot of people are like, hell yeah, I'll get behind that. But like I don't understand the philosophy in terms of like this is year 3. This is not one of those things where like we're in year 1, which we've given Monty a mulligan, and I get it. He favors and he values draft capital, and it's fine to a sense. But like we have yet to see a really good trade to work in the favor of the Arizona Cardinals. So although I would love to say the Cardinals should be buyers, right? I don't know realistically if he's going to do it, and if he does, it's probably going to be some guy that nobody's really heard of, and it's very unfortunate. But to answer your question, I would love if Jacoby Myers on this roster. Everybody's been talking about Michael Wilson. He's more of a number 3 than he is a number 2. So get somebody different as opposed to the play style of what Marvin Harrison Jr. is. I feel like a Jacoby Myers would be cool to bring somebody like that. He's a guy that's been very productive with the Raiders, and unfortunately doesn't get a lot of recognition because playing for the Raiders, right? So they don't get a lot of spotlight over there. So he's the main guy. And I know Jesse on our channel, and I think you might have chimed in on as well with the Tyreek Hill situation. Tyreek Hill is just what Monty Ossenfort likes to bring in. He doesn't like people to push the envelope, and that is number 1 public enemy. I just don't think he'll bring him in just because of the type of person he is. So they see it as a cancer, essentially.
I can totally get where they're coming from on being out of it on that side of it. They had the DeAndre Hopkins in there, and Hopkins has got a little bit of that reputation as well. Yeah. And so, you're kind of remembering a little bit of that maybe coming through there. I do just think about it from the standpoint of you guys getting a potential of any team. You look at a team of how much of a real, everything works out right in their favor. Do they have a shot to get themselves to a Super Bowl this year? And maybe I'm wrong here, but I look at the Cardinal right now and I go, and I don't even know about my Seahawks if it's that way right now. I'm still kind of figuring that out too, but I don't know if I look at the Cardinals currently structured, put together, that's a team that goes there. The thing that I think about with Tyreek, that you could get lightning in a bottle and that you've got to just sort of keep him in line for this short period of time. And I think about it like it's a rental situation. It's going to cost, a lot, but rental is that off script stuff Kyler can do with the secondary routes. Last week we got the benefit of this with Darnold, where it's free rush right up the middle. He breaks, he should be dead to rights. It's a defensive tackle, got him right up, and he just somehow breaks through it. And you've got Jackson so good at, getting into his quickness so fast off of his first route. And then bam, that thing's open. It's a 30-yard play down the field. And I just think about that with a Kyler, like with how he can extend plays and then how Tyreek can get into that secondary route like he used to with Mahomes.
Right.
And that really could be such a vicious combination to me from a Cardinal standpoint, even with it's sort of, I guess I'm trying to say here is like the risk feels worth the juice. The squeeze worth the juice on this one. But
if Steve Keim was here, the last general manager, and probably sipping on something at 12 noon, he probably will make the trade. And that's the thing too, like if it happens, you know how the fan base is, man. Like, right now I'm standing on the fact that I don't feel like we need him or the Cardinals won't bring him in, but you better bet your bottom dollar if the Cardinals bring him in, I'll be for it. You know how it is, man. It's just, I'll be jumping for joy and be like, yeah, hell yeah, let's go. Because that does, upgrade your wide receiving core. It's just, I don't want to sell myself in a bag of goods that I'm looking already in the tenure of what Monty Ossenfort has done. And it's very, very conservative. Like it's a conservative approach. So I don't know. I don't want to buy myself too much into it, but maybe we'll make a video later on about that, man. We'll see.
Let's press you down then. You are general manager Mike. You're in charge running AZ right now.
Yeah.
You get to come in there and the Dolphins call you up and they say, we'll do this for a third and a fourth round pick.
I mean, I would do it. I would pull the trigger. Yeah, I mean, even if it's a third, I would really realistically like a third round and maybe a fourth next year. And that's obviously the details, right? But like that, I would. I think that would be very beneficial for the Arizona Cardinals. And here's the thing too, like one thing I said coming into the season is I want the excuses to stop. I want the uncertainty to stop. I want what's going to be the future of this Cardinals to know the definitive answer. And I get it. You're not going to know 100% what your team's going to look like in the next 2 or 3 years. There's just so much change, turnover year in and year out. But the biggest question out there is, what is this coaching staff, right? Is this coaching staff holding back Kyler? Is Kyler Murray holding back the coaching staff? Are they holding back each other? I want all these questions to be answered by the people at the top to know what's the next move we're going forward to. Because honestly, I feel like we're just, living in the now and there's really no plan for the future. So for your team, I would say yes, because I would love this to be an all-in season. This is Kyler Murray's big year, his finish hurrah. If he can do it, might as well give him all the weapons he can to succeed. And right now, I don't feel like the Cardinals have really done that. But of course, we got one of the best tight ends in the NFL, top 3, top 4, top 5, wherever you want to put them. But that's probably what the Cardinals are also leaning on. And like you said earlier, the development of Marvin Harrison Jr., which we'll probably talk a little later on. He's got the case of the dropsies most recently. So yeah, it hasn't been looking so good for the offense, unfortunately.
If I may, then what you're sort of intimating a bit by what I'm getting from you, because I've had similar stuff here with players in recent years, which is that you're kind of getting to the edge of an organizationally wise where you may have to make a decision on Kyler. And when you make that decision, you want to make sure it's on the basis of you've covered all your bases. You've done all you can for this guy to drive us to a championship, or that to make sure that he's semi part of the problem if you're going to choose to move off of him. Maybe not the full problem, but semi part of it, or not part of the solution. But it's hard to do that if you don't have him with the playmakers, let's say on that outside, that you've given him to really make that proper assessment. And you might end up running into troubled waters where you now move on from a player that you hadn't fully done your legwork on in the right way. Am I capturing that right?
Yeah, you are 100% correct. And here's the thing too, like the Arizona Cardinals aren't one of those organizations that love to plan for the future. They never have, they never will. And that's one of the main reasons why they take so long to rebuild. As an organization like you guys, which you either like it or you don't like it, but you are always constantly in the 7, 8, 9 win range. I don't hardly see you in the first, second overall pick or somewhere, that's kind of the difference between the Cardinals. It's almost like we're doing all these things, but we're not really thinking too far ahead. And I would have loved the Cardinals to take the approach of the Eagles, to be real with you. If there's any gray area at all, which Cardinal fans have been talking about Kyler for a very, very long time. And he is one of the most, how do I even describe him? Like, he's the athlete in Arizona right now that we just do not know what
polarizing.
Yeah, most polarizing athlete we have in the Valley right now. We just don't know what he is. And year 7, there's some people out there that literally are not going to consume any Arizona Cardinals content without him, or without him. Like, he needs to be gone. Like a lot of people have told me already, I'm not going to watch anymore unless he's gone, because they just don't believe. But of course, you got the portion of the Cardinal fans that are probably the younger crowd that came in with Kyler Murray that cannot fathom to say anything negative about the quarterback, because there has been mistakes from the quarterback side and from the play calling. I'm not going to come out here and say that it's all Kyler, because it's not, right? Especially week 3, but that Kyler Murray's career has been made up of flashes, right? Flashes of a remembrance of, oh, that is what you can bring, but the consistency is never there, and that never follows suit. But like I said, earlier, I would have loved the Arizona Cardinals to take some sort of approach of the Eagles playbook as to, you got Carson Wentz, doesn't matter. We're going to get a second-round quarterback and get in Jalen Hurts. Although the fan base didn't like it, they got themselves a Super Bowl. Cardinals don't plan like that, unfortunately. If they do end up moving off, we're going to have a lot of time where probably a lot of quarterback uncertainty. So it's almost one of those things where, like, if he does get moved off, I just need them to have a plan in place, whether it's a developmental quarterback or whatever the situation is. But like, I feel like we're going to find ourselves with like, okay, we're going to trade him away, and then we got nothing. And then we're just kind of bare and empty in the cupboard. So I don't know, man. It's a tough situation. I want him to succeed still, although some people don't believe that I want him to succeed, but I do. I would rather keep him if he learns to get us to the playoffs and win a playoff game. But it's year 7 already, and we just haven't got that from him consistently.
Yeah, it's a complicated situation, I think, and I don't know that any side's got absolutely this has got to be just the way we go. It's a no-brainer. It's like this is it's a tough call. And to your point on like who you're going to replace him with on the plan, your Cardinals are going to be probably just good enough to be outside that sphere of getting a
Right.
quarterback at the top. You got two teams with first-round picks. We know the Falcons handed the Rams a golden calf of a situation there. They're 1-2, by the way, starting out are the Falcons. So that fear's getting realized really fast on my
Yep.
side.
Yep.
But then you do go, okay, so there isn't, and it's like, okay, can we make a trade at that point? Can we somehow talk a Bengals team into a Burrow thing or something? Because there is a lot of guys potentially you like that you think are the true upgrade over Kyler at that point. I mean, we're talking true upgrade, not your guessing or well, if this goes right, or we can reclamate this guy. And that's where maybe you're caught into that pickle of just going back to Kyler at that, even if you don't necessarily maybe make the playoffs or do, or barely do, and there's not a lot of noise, but just that still ends up being the thing where you go, okay, especially again, if you haven't got the receiver help around him. You've gone through this whole year with just McBride and Harrison there, and McBride's awesome. I think definitely probably the number one receiving tight end in the sport, at least bare minimum, and has a good claim to fame for maybe being the number one guy, but it just feels like you just that little bit more there might make a big difference there for Kyler. Do you think they would move off of him if this goes to a season that you don't get to the playoffs?
It's fascinating to hear. It's all over the social media world, but I mean, if you're not in like Twitter or Cardinals world, it's probably hard to even know that Jonathan Gannon came out and pretty much defended his offensive coordinator. Right now, the Cardinal fans, or there's a portion of Cardinal fans that feel like it's solely Petzing, and that's our offensive coordinator. It's him. He's the devil. Get rid of him. This is the reason why the Cardinals are averaging 150, 180 yards, passing the ball every game. So there's a portion of the Cardinal fans that feel that way. I don't feel like it's just Petzing. I feel like it's an accumulation of everything. I think Kyler's got some play. I think Petzing's got some play. I think the situational play calling and just not being able to generate a offensive, I guess, explosive plays. Like we should be getting 2 or 3 of these a game, and we're not. We're probably getting 1. So it's one of those things that I feel like that's why it's so hard to figure out this issue on the offensive side of the ball, because it's an accumulation of a lot of different things that are happening, and nobody really knows how to fix it. But going back to your question, Jonathan Gannon came out and says that he has no issue with the play calls, because the media ended up asking him, do you have any issues with the play calls? Do you think it's the play calls? And he said, no. He 100% backed up his OC. He said, nope. No issues to play call. If you have any issues, you come to me and see me about that. And then the next day, which is on Monday, he ended up doubling down and says he saw the film. There's things to be made. And he pretty much kind of, nonchalantly blamed it on execution, right? Execution that as to what was going on with the Arizona Cardinals offense. And when you're watching it real time, I kid you not, Brandon, there's plays to be made out there, whether it's a quick dump off to make a first down. Just sometimes the decisions are being made. It's I don't want to say not smart, but it almost is a sporadic decision. And I get it, you have to go quick, right? The quarterback position isn't easy to play in the NFL, especially when you got these behemoths coming at you and they want to rip your head off, right? Or take you down. So I understand it in that sense, but Jonathan Gannon is backing his OC, but now Cardinal fans are against the head coach and Jonathan Gannon. So all this noise will quiet down. I promise you, if they fix this offense. It's just one loss on the season has completely derailed it. And I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of people that do not have faith that we're going to win against the Seattle Seahawks this coming Thursday. Like like that, the faith is lost within this fan base. So I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough situation.
Well, it's not easy when it is multiple things. I saw that very same thing and watching the tape last night and going through it and checking out some of the All-22 on it as well.
Yeah.
That you have the drops. We're going to talk about Marvin, but it wasn't just Marvin. There's a couple other guys in there that had some drops in this game that could have swung this and made this a lot, differently. It is the play calling where there were some painful moments in this game where you're like, Drew, come on, dude. Really?
Yeah. He's
running
it to a box on the side where they're freaking favored. There was like 8
yeah, stacked boxes running into stacked. Yeah, it was a little weird with that. And then there is the stuff there a little bit for Kyler, and this is the part where this one play I wanted to show you, but this is a play that I think kind of represents where a guy like Gannon watches this on tape and he goes, well, this is where again my QB.
Yep.
This is a 3rd down.
And so it's a crucial 3rd down too. That's the last play of the game.
Down. Crucial 3rd down. So you've got a levels concept here from this. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, you're good. I apologize. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. You got it. You've seen it. So I know you know what's going on.
Yeah,
break it down.
here's the thing, right? So this is where Zay Jones ends up getting hurt here. This is the concussion play that he ends up getting hurt on. Now,
Yikes.
you see Michael Wilson right there, right? You know what Kyler Murray stands are saying right now? Oh, Michael Wilson is not even close to behind the sticks. It doesn't matter. You got to give him the opportunity. Look how far of a separation. Boom, right there. You let it go. He's going to run, right? And even if it's short, it gives the Arizona Cardinals an enticement to potentially go down on 4th down and win this game. Now, that was the play right there, but that's been the speculation on the air, or not the stigma on the Arizona Cardinals and this Kyler Murray regime is those plays up the middle of the field. It almost kind of seems like they're not existent. They're not there in his eyes, because I get why he threw it there. He wants to get a 1st down. I 100% respect it. But sometimes you got to play for that 1st down. And that was the better play, whether Kyler Murray stands say, yes, it is, or it's not. And I even had somebody send me a screenshot and put some little lines, little lines say, he's not even in 1st down mark. Look at the separation that Michael Wilson had. He could have potentially made a 1st down or be very, very close if for some reason that cornerback hit the turbo mode and block and you stopped them before the 1st down mark. But that was the play to me. And that is what you're seeing here from Kyler Murray, unfortunately. Boom, right there. There's at least a second or two reaction that he should have sent it that way. And here's the thing too. Look at the concept again for Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr., and you probably can't see it here. He's on the right-hand side. Look at him. He's back there. He got a double team back there. Literally, he's being used as a decoy.
Yeah, he's running the coverage off.
And here's the thing, like, okay, and it makes sense, but like, this is where I'm pissed off about Drew Petzing too. So it's not just Kyler, right? And the reason why people are getting on him is that this is year 7, but Marvin Harrison Jr. should not be used like this like 60-70% of the time. And it feels like he is. Like, he's being used as a decoy. So like, yes, he had some really crucial boneheaded drops, but like, I even talked to my fan base as like, sometimes the human element checks in your mind, and I'm not giving him any excuses or anything like that, but maybe he truly feels like he's never going to get the damn ball. Like, he got 3 targets in the first half alone, and he didn't get him into the second quarter. He's running these routes, potentially trying to get the ball in his hand, and he's not even being looked at as a first progression in some of these plays, because their mentality, I'm talking about the Arizona Cardinals, is the ball needs to go where the ball needs to go. And that's fine. I get it. But this is the guy that you put 4th overall pick and use the draft capital that you did, and you're going to be treating him like this. It almost kind of feels like it's the stupidest decision I've ever heard in my life. Why would you get him 4th overall if you're going to be not treating him like he's your number 1 wide receiver? And I get it. Your most dependable guy is Trey McBride, but he's also dropped some balls as well. But I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't get this organization. I really don't.
You got to feature him, man. That's the thing. You make that investment. You got to have a plan of attack to feature him. I told you, we've shared the same frustrations with DK. I mean, through DK's 6 years, through his first 6 years, 5 of those years, he was the 2nd most targeted player on the team. And you go, well, that's about to your point on that, having not just you line him at X and you say, okay, not say nothing to decoy routes, which is silly, but you're just now running him up, always up, get him into the slot, get him into motion, find some ways to feature him creatively so you can remove some of the, necessarily double teams you might deal with the safety over the top. But they don't do that. Sometimes these coaches get a little lazy with that and that approach. And it can get darn frustrating because you know that there's more productivity there to be had. Oh yeah. 100%. I do think on that one throw, I got to just say, just one more time, I don't think he ever saw him.
You might be right.
I think the reason he's throwing down to the depth on that is because that's Kyler's vision, is that Kyler can't, when it's short around the line of scrimmage, I can't see, but when you get me 15 yards down the field, I've got enough space there now to be able to see the guy. Yeah. Because you're completely right on this. I watched the all 22 on the other angle. I should have probably had that one here. I hadn't been aware that so many Cardinal fans wouldn't have looked at that tape and just been like, oh yeah, you hit the drag. That's the drag all day. I mean, it's because there's plenty of space between the sideline and the man there to lead him as well. Put the ball a little out in front and let him go get the ball, and then he could turn it right upfield and go get the first down. So say nothing of the separation that's there. There was plenty of space, but my looking at him from my perspective, I just don't think he saw it. And that's part of those plays. I think sometimes there are just some spots that he can't see. And that's probably for a guy like Gannon when he goes back to it. If I was to put him on a lie detector, Mike, I think he would say why I'm not as much one to throw my OC under the bus or say, we got to do more of this or we got to do more of that, because coaches are never shy about that with coordinators. Right. I think some of this backtracks just a little bit. And I'm not blaming them last week on Kyler. Your assessment of it is 100% on point with it, but just that maybe that's in the back of the mind a little bit. And I know we're hammering the Kyler thing, but this is the major decision over the top of this organization here facing you guys now. as we get through this season. So why I think it's kind of so important to talk about.
Let me send you something via X/Twitter here real quick. I'm going to send you a screenshot of another play that's been going viral amongst Cardinal fans. And you probably see the little logo there from subreddit. So I'm not even in the subreddit world, but I'm assuming there's a lot of people that are very angry as well. There's a screenshot that I just sent you. And if you get a chance, flash it on the screen. This play right here was a very crucial play for the Arizona Cardinals. And well, not crucial, but if you see this play diagnosed where Kyler Murray drops back, there's 3 wide open players for the Arizona Cardinals to trade or pass the ball to. But he decides to roll out to the left-hand side and potentially could have given up a safety. Now, did we get lucky there for the Cardinals? Potentially. Now, the referee said that the ball was out of the end zone when he ends up, throwing the ball away. The defense was like, oh, that's a safety, right? We might have got lucky here, but you drop back and you got 3 players, or maybe let's just see even 2 players, right? Because one of them is kind of going into his route. And I don't really see who that is right now just because the screen is tiny. But if you look at that specific play, that's a 3rd and 1 where we could have converted that. Now, are we going to go further down? Probably not. But like we were within pinned at, between the 10 or something like that. But like that's kind of another example right there is he actually seeing these guys open? And like you said, I don't want to harp on Kyler. I'm right. I want him to succeed, but I do need him to get better. And this is the type of stuff that I was hoping that he would experience and learn from in year 2 or year 3, but we're heading into year 7 and it's not being fixed. It's not being changed. Right. So you got Trey Benson right there open. And I believe that's another tight end. I know we're kind of, let me see if I can blow up my side. Oh yeah. That's Trey McBride over there. So Trey McBride's at the very top. And I think that's Tip Ryman at the very bottom. He's probably going into his route. So maybe 2 players that you couldn't convert that first down for the Cardinals. And instead, he decided to roll out to the left and potentially got a safety call on him. Thankfully, it didn't. We just bumped the ball away from there. But
should have been a safety.
It should have been. Yeah, it probably could have been. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that there's things that he does that he can overcome with this, that story of Kyler, where it's just never so simple to me is just over, because this is what people want to do in football now. You overstate a case too far on it. I've told you, even though I've been really hard on Kyler, I've never said it or pushed it to the area of always top 20 even. I've said always he's at least a middle. When it all shuffles out, I think it just gets hard from an offensive coordinator perspective to always be able to predict sort of the chaos creation that they have. We had this with Russell Wilson at times, and that you have an offensive coordinator that wants to be on time and on point, and you have a quarterback that kind of can be the ultimate sort of, I'm going to make it up on the fly guy. And it's hard to always know how to mix that together as an OC to get him, the stable static stuff mixed in with the cool wild play stuff. It's tough to strike. I wouldn't know an answer as an OC of how to do that with a mobile quarterback. And the great ones maybe can find that, like Josh Allen there with the Bills and Brady and what they do. They found that great mix with him, and Lamar out there with Baltimore. They certainly have too, but it's a tough mix to have. It is at least cool with Kyler. He is using his legs a little more this year and incorporating that a little bit more into, his game on that side. Yeah. So Marvin, you don't think there's anything wrong there? Just we got to do more of trying to get him targeted, less decoy action, maybe a little bit of usage in the slot. Not like we got a lot of slots right now that are doing a lot of hard good work. So
yeah, I mean, well, to me, I'm kind of a little indifferent. I mean, I know in year 1, I would never have admit Malik Neighbors greater than Marvin Harrison Jr. Never would have caught dead admitting that. But now, of course, I think obviously Malik Neighbors is probably the more polished wide receiver coming out of that draft right now, at least the more, I guess, consistent wide receiver, and he's got some really good hands, and he's an absolute playmaker. I know Marvin can get there. It's just we're doing such a bad job in trying to get somebody in rhythm. Like we were hearing, oh, we're going to do this, and we just never do it. Like I feel like if the Cardinals actually get him into rhythm, he probably can make plays like the one he dropped, right? Or the one that he probably could have got in the end zone where he also dropped as well. So there was really 2 bad drops. The one where he was by himself was probably the worst one because there was literally nobody with him within like 10, 15 yards. So that was a really, really bad one. I still do have faith that Marvin Harrison Jr. can get better. It's just he's not being the focal point in this offense. And I think that's a big weakness in this Arizona Cardinals offense. And now that we don't have James Conner, he's now on IR and obviously done for the season. I'm curious to figure out how the Arizona Cardinals are going to approach this. Are we going to roll it with Trey Benson and continue this run-heavy offense? Or are we going to, throw the ball more down the field? I talked about this a little on my podcast as well. I think I'm kind of getting to the point where I think this coaching staff is conservative because they don't want Kyler Murray to make an erratic play. I truly think that's why the conservative approach. I don't know if they truly deep down trust him. Whenever we're going behind the sticks, holding call, whatever call in where it's like 1st and 15, 1st and 19, whatever, right? I almost promise you 2 out of those 3 plays is a run, and an incomplete pass somewhere. I don't know if they trust him fully to not sell the game. Now they say they do, right? But like the actions don't match the words. If they do, they probably would allow him to go after that. But Drew Petzing's very, very conservative when it comes down to something like that. It's almost like we kind of give up on it. Oh, the drive's done. It's a holding call. We're done. Okay, let's just punt the ball away. It's unfortunate, but let's see.
I mean, it felt a little bit like that in watching a couple of these games, and I think it's more of an indictment to the coaching staff than it is to Kyler at that point. You got to utilize what he does great, and if you've given him this money and you've bought in the process, then buy into it. Don't put one foot into it and sort of one foot out, which is what that approach would be to me. And you're not, how far are you going to get playing protectivism from the offensive perspective around your quarterback? It's not like that's taking you to the promised land on that side, unless they're just so in their bag, believing that their defense is going to be so just unbelievably amazing that it can overcome that, which to me, that's kind of silly if that's their thought process.
I mean, this is the same regime that said this wide receiving core was going to do it. So I don't
know. Well, you guys have been doing well this year.
Yeah.
I know we're banging pretty hard here on Kyler, and James isn't going to be able to come back after that injury in a short week. He's not going to be able to walk that thing off, just a little bit of ice on it. And
no, but I think it came down as a foot injury.
Looked like a little twist to me.
Right, just a little bit, huh?
Wrap it up, and he should be fine. Rub a little dirt on it. It'll be all right.
Right. No, he's done, unfortunately. And I think that might be the last snap we're going to see of James Conner, to be real, with the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, it's very, very unfortunate. And it was kind of cool to see 49er players and Cardinals players. Like, the moment it happened, they knew. Like, everybody surrounded him in the cart when he got, carted away. Really cool. And that's the thing. Like, James Conner's always been known as the alpha, the dog, the guy that bring the physical side of it all on the offensive side. And he's always had some sort of scuffles with 49ers. So it was cool to see the 49ers players come in and obviously check in on him. But everybody knew. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, you definitely root for that guy. The cancer background coming out of college, had to self-carve his career out in the way he did, and to become the kind of player he's become, as productive as he's become. This is the type of player you root for in the sport when they do find success, and hopefully he can get back. Just a brutal looking injury when it went down at the time. Luckily, your Cardinals have done some reinforcing here with Trey Benson, a guy I like coming out of college quite a bit, and he has ran pretty well for you so far this year, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. I mean, he's had a very small sample size. We thought we were going to see maybe like a 60-40, but realistically, we probably were seeing more of like a 70-30 split. Like, obviously, depending on the specific game, if we were up and they kind of abandoned the run. But it was obviously the James Conner show. So it's going to be the approach of Trey Benson is what they're going to be leaning on a lot. Now, we also do got Amari DeMarcado as well, which more of a pass blocker more than anything. He can make some plays, passing, catching the ball out of the backfield. And we also got Bam Knight, which is an undrafted guy. I think he spent some time with the the Jets as well. Cardinals ended up bringing him in, so I'm curious to figure out if they're going to use him. He had some really good explosive plays in preseason, but Trey Benson, I think he has already 2 explosive plays, and I'm talking about over 25 yards. Like, he's looked really well when given the opportunity, so I think the Cardinals are going to lean on him. I really do. I'm excited to see what the Cardinals are going to be able to do. Like, I'm very high on him, and I think I remember either you or Jesse asking, and it might have been in our Behind Enemy Lines last week, but he ended up asking me about, like, is it time to move off of James Conner and give it to Trey Benson? Well, now we got no option. It's going to be the Trey Benson show. So let's see what happens here. I have faith in him. I think he's going to be really good. In the small sample size we've seen him, he's had some really big runs. He looks really explosive. He's young. So yeah, I'm excited about him.
I like him a lot too. I get why Jesse would have asked that on it, because there is a little bit of, I think I asked it actually on that one. I was the one who asked that one, because it just looked like, look, you see what he's doing, a little bit more explosive. Rewatching the tape last week, it did seem like there just wasn't always a lot of holes for either of the two backs to be had. It was just, it was, the stuff rate was just, and that's San Francisco. They surprised me in that way with all that rebuilt defensive line for it to be able to be as stout as it's been against specifically the run. I would have thought that there's been a little bit you could get after them with that, but Saleh and his impact, not to be understated. Well, let's talk a little bit about that defense really quickly. Let's thank the sponsor of this show today, give them a shout out, which is going to be Sleeper here. Sleeper sponsoring the show here throughout the year. Are you with Sleeper too? I forget.
I am.
Yeah, so we got Sleeper. We got Sleeper here with our guy, Mike, as well in the house. And so we're both sponsored. This is coming to the Washington. We haven't had the ability to do this recently. And so we're now getting the opportunity to do this. So I want to bring up here, if we can, picks and see if we can get Mike's picks. I don't know if they even have the picks up yet, Mike.
Oh,
may not have them up here.
Usually when we do it on the NFC, it uses very minimal
Yeah.
for you to pick out of.
So I guess we'll bring up some things here, and we'll just maybe talk about in general terms on this. Let me bring up the app here. Bear with me for 1 second.
Yeah, you're good.
It's always a little bit of a work in progress getting these things on live. Still getting it down here. Okay. You're still we can still hear you. We can still hear you, Mike.
Yep, perfect.
And then let's get this thing up here. Window, boom, boom. Okay. So we got Thursday night football going down here. Let's do 2 picks. Let's target in on 2 guys if we can.
Okay.
That you might be looking at from this game. And yeah, I thought we would have had it up by now because Thursday's is right around the corner.
Right.
They don't have them up quite yet for some reason here. So interesting. Okay. So I guess as far as players go, when we go for over under on players in this game, looking at the Benson. I know we don't have the over under to necessarily track on this one, but what would you put it where you've got Benson in this game as the bell cow now, and you don't have as much the backup into McCardo. You're going to give as many touches to as you would have given to Benson, let's say.
Yeah.
Where do you put him at up against the Seahawks defense, who's been very stout against the run so far this year?
And here's the thing too, James Conner has been the workhorse, but let's be real, James Conner has not had any good game in these first 3 weeks. So I don't know, like that's also been a struggle. Like our bread and butter is supposed to be able to run the ball and we can't. Like we're just unfortunately not able to do it. So I'm not too high on Benson going absolutely crazy here. If there was some sort of like under 60 yards, I would definitely 110% under that bad boy. Like I don't think I have the faith that the Arizona Cardinals unfortunately was going to be able to do more than that. Now, if he does, it's probably going to have, because he has like one big explosive run, which he's got the capability to do so. But I would say like under 60, if there is like some sort of line there.
So they're not giving us that, unfortunately, because they probably sense with you that it's too much dynamic.
Yeah.
What about Kyler Murray, 30.5 yards rushing?
Oh, give me more. Give me more.
All right. We're going more on the Kyler with that. I've got Marvin Harrison at 46.5 yards receiving, or Michael Wilson at 22.5 yards receiving.
That's sad. Oh my God. give me the Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, that's your number 2 wide receiver, 22.5. That's terrible. Give me more on Marv.
All right. So we got him on that one. I'm going to go with anytime touchdown with Kenneth Walker. I'm going to go more on that side of it. And this Torrey Horton kid we got, man, I don't know. You guys, I think we're going to attack your guys' weakness at corner on that other side at 21.5 yards. So those are my picks. That's a 9.2 times entry on $10. So just about almost nearly $100 you could win on this kind of play. A big shout out to Sleeper, though, for sponsoring both AZ Sports Fan and myself throughout this year. You can use my code NEST and get a match up to 100% of $100 of your first deposit. Now in Washington, there are restrictions right now for the next 7 days-ish, but I'm told into October it's supposed to open in full. Can you use the app in full over out there in Arizona? You guys are, you're Wild West out there, right?
Yeah, we
style.
We do our own thing.
Yeah.
I have a fantasy football league with Sleeper right now, but we do have the same restrictions as well right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's some limitations in certain spots, but please do use my code today, NEST, or Mike's code. Mike, what was your code again?
AZSF.
AZSF. There we go. So use either of those codes. AZ is F. That's how it sounds. This is AZ is F, man.
Right.
But thank you to Sleeper for sponsoring both of us. And I like the picks that you got on there, Mike. I'm digging it on that side of it. Your Arizona Cardinals, they took a very strong direction this offseason. $100 million burn a hole in their pocket. We're going to re-up Torrey McBride, a nice little extension, another extension over here to this guy. And then we're going to go and we're going to build up this defensive line. It has been a team that I think has concentrated on their defensive line as much as anybody in the NFL. And this is coming from a team that's like, we have reinforced the ranks ourselves there.
Yeah.
How's been the process? How is it going right now for a group that you want to be dominant?
It's going solid in the free agents that we brought in. The developmental guys that we thought we were going to be getting more of. Now, I can't really speak too much of Walter Nolan. don't just say anything. He's unfortunately still on IR, but the developmental of Darius Robinson, first round pick that unfortunately we thought he was going to be better because we saw so many photos out there with him standing next to JG, and this man looks like a mammoth. And put on some muscle, it looked really good, but like when you're watching the all-22 or watching the game back, he's got little to no impact, unfortunately. So in that sense of we wanted him to have a really good year too, Darius Robinson, unfortunately, is not really doing anything. But the new guys that we ended up bringing in free agency, Dalvin Tomlinson, in terms of being able to stop the run, has been really, really pretty solid. Calais Campbell, good God, man, pushing 40, still doing it. And he's coming up in clutch moments. He ended up winning us the Panthers game by sacking Bryce Young, and then the safety almost winning the game for the San Francisco 49ers. He's just so impactful. It's so amazing to see. And then Josh Sweat, already I think he's got 2 sacks and 1 forced fumble. It almost kind of feels like he makes a play in the first quarter and it kind of goes away. He's just like, all right, I did my thing. I'm gone, which sucks. But like it's already like that's, what is it, 3 away from our sack leader last year. So we'll take those 2 sacks right now. But overall, like this upgraded defensive line has been pretty solid. Like it actually has been really good. I think pressures has been obviously up a tick. It's just we're so close from becoming a team that can get multiple sacks a game. Because I kid you not, when you're watching the all-22 or watching the highlights, Josh Sweat is within mere seconds of bringing down a Spencer Rattler or Bryce Young. It was so close to having multiple sack games. It's just the attack of on this defense, it almost kind of seems like let's get the ball out of their hands quick hooks. We play a lot of zone and they just move the ball down the field like that, unfortunately. So, but overall, I feel like this defense has been really good. Pressures is up a tick. I really do like Jordan Birch, a rookie, 3rd round pick. He's not getting a lot of reps right now. But we're still waiting for a lot of guys to get healthy, right? Walter Nolan, BJ Ojolari, which was a 2nd round pick. We still haven't really seen very much on him as well. Baron Browning has been surprisingly pretty good, which is a trade acquisition last year. We ended up bringing him back in free agency, and he's been pretty solid. He got an interception. And if I can remember correctly, I think he's got a sack under his belt as well. So he's looked pretty solid. I mean, this defensive line is leaps and bounds better. Leaps and bounds better than what it was the past 2 years, no doubt.
And reinforcements in the ranks coming, if not this week, at some point soon, and just maybe that'll help really add it up. It's wild to watch Calais Campbell. We have seen elder defensive linemen in this sport play well into their mid-30s. I don't know if we've had any real defensive tackles that have played great into their late 30s. This is something that is untested ground that we've been into. The guy just feels like he's been playing forever.
Yeah.
And then to play at the high level. And it's just, you mentioned the closeouts, which just stands out, but he's also been, to me, in my eyes, still, you see him flashing in other parts of the game too. For a guy, they have on not limited snap counts, but he's not running the prime era Calais Campbell snap counts either,
right.
The age. So it's what a boon that's been for you guys to bring him back. I didn't think he was going to be able to supply this much at this age, but he's just been a hell of a player, man. Very impressive on what he's brought him. And Ojolari's got to get on the field.
I agree, man. This is the year. If he doesn't really do anything, I'm assuming there's going to be an escape plan to get rid of him and move on. It's just the biggest unfortunate about him is just he's not able to stay healthy.
It just makes me wonder with the fact his brother had the same issues.
Yeah.
And some people will go to toughness. I do go to just, man, it's that old thing where there's just certain bodies that aren't built to do this NFL thing. And it is a violent sport, and there's just, I just think it's do you agree? Do you think it's not as much about he hasn't worked hard, or you did what you did, and sometimes you just don't have that body that can hold up.
It does feel like genes play a factor into this. We don't really know too much about him, if I'm going to be real with you. When we drafted him, he was very minimal on the field. And then the second year, he had the injury. So like, to even know who the heck he is, I'm going to be real with you. I don't really know too much about him. Like, how those press conferences, we probably saw him talk maybe 2 years ago. But he just never been very there, like at all, like never serviceable, never there at all. So I don't know, like, are we missing the next great edge rusher, opposite side of Josh Sweat? We don't know. We really don't know. We put a lot of weight into that in year 2. Unfortunately, he got hurt. Now we're heading into year 3 of him, and it's just, he had little production, man. Little production. So I don't know.
Did you make a run at Trey Hendrickson?
Did the Cardinals, you said?
Would you, or do you think the Cardinals should make a run at Trey Hendrickson?
I've been preaching so much this offseason about Hendrickson or even Michael Parsons. So I would. I would. I mean, I feel like the Cardinals would very much benefit from doing that. Like if the offense can't get their SHIT together and we're still a team that's going to be, within contention, at least in November, December football, I say, why the heck not? Well, might as well us than the 49ers. Let me just say that.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you won't think it would cost as much because the Bengals, I think, basically knew they were letting him go for nothing at the end of the year anyway. So it's not even going to be the cost it would have been this offseason to probably go get him. And if you don't have faith, Ojulari's going to come back. You don't have faith Robinson's going to develop. Browning gives you the nice rotational guy, but get the one more kind of guy out there that kind of roll it, hold it down over there to that side of it. Cornerback, something that I prophesized to you at the start of the year, Mike, this is going to be a problem for you. I'm worried. You've lost 2 for the season already. This is not a good sign, as you were not already the most deep. Where are we at with the cornerback room?
Oh man, yeah, it's tough. Sean Murphy-Bunting, Starling Thomas V, and now Garrett Williams. There's hope that Garrett Williams might be back. We've heard a couple players saying we know he's going to be back. Now we don't know if that's just hearsay or just talk, right? Sometimes people talk people up. But there's rumors that he might be coming back. And Will Johnson right now, I'm not gonna lie to you, it seemed like it was trending that he was going to start last week. But I think that because they had such a short kind of preparing for the next game, if I were going to put some money down, I probably would say Will Johnson will be playing, but he's a rookie. I mean, how much more can you lean on? But he's been a really good rookie for the Arizona Cardinals. Already PFF and a lot of national media has been really raving about him. And then you got year 2, Max Melton. Right now, if Will Johnson does go, we're probably going to be seeing Denzel Burke in the stint of obviously the absence of Garrett Williams, which he's been doing decent. Like, I'm not even going to say solid, decent. I think he's serviceable. I don't think he's a lockdown corner for any stretch of the imagination at all. But yeah, the cornerbacks has taken a big hit from the beginning of the season. And yeah, I am really worried about that. And especially when you got players like JSN, Cooper Kupp, veteran guy that can get open. And then you have Torrey Horton, which I hate you guys for getting him as well, but he's already starting to look really good. But where did you get Torrey Horton? Was it 4th round?
5th round.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if Monty Austinfort came out and said, "Oh, our plan," it wasn't that we weren't going to get an offensive person. It just never felt that way. You're telling me Torrey Horton wasn't a good option at 4? That's crazy to me. I don't get it. It's so dumb.
I don't, well, especially because he gives you the punt return as you saw last week. I mean, that's the thing with him too, is that if you just have the floor of a 4th round wide receiver giving you dynamic punt return element, and that's where what you're getting as a return, you're like, I'm fine with that. And then you have the potential of the receiving too with it. It's this is the part where I go, as I've said, I don't think looking at it and saying, well, I'm just so much smarter than the general manager. I just think there's some general managers that have these, we'll call it Achilles heels, blind spots, inability to just recognize this deficiency in what they've done. And I don't quite get it, because it's like everyone can see it even from the cheap seats on this one.
Right. Yeah. Agree.
I think it'll end up being a limiting factor to you guys this year, potentially. I mean, this is a team that if you had that, if you just like have a little this and have a little, like one more edge rusher, one more wide receiver on this team, could really take this thing really far for you guys, in my opinion, as far as the impact of that and just raising the ceiling of this team. And that's why I'm hammering it so much with you, Mike, because I do really believe that'd be the move for you guys to make with it. But we'll see with Monte. Like you say, he's conservative.
I mean, very valid points. I mean, honestly, from top to bottom, very valid points. It's just adding a Torrey Horton, adding, hell, I would even take a Tez Johnson. I know he's not doing so great at this point, but even just the attempt, like sometimes I just want him to swing. Just take a swing. I don't care if you strike out and it's not a good try, unless you noticed it, right? But they went so heavy on the defensive side of the ball, draft as well as free agency. It's just like they had tunnel vision. We're doing this because that's the biggest deficiency, that they ignored everything else that was a problem too. Like, it probably wasn't the biggest factor out there, but like they tunnel vision, they wanted to upgrade the defensive line and they did that. It's just everything else kind of, especially on the offensive side of the ball, kind of fell below the wayside. And some people might say that, wide receivers, some people might have said a offensive lineman would have been crucial for the Cardinals. So I don't know, man, it's tough. I think PFF said that the Cardinals have a really good pass protect an offense, but their run blocking is horrendous, which is crazy because we're supposed to be a run heavy offense. Like, that's our bread and butter. Okay, if we're not doing what we're good at, then why
pass heavy offense that can run block really well?
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't get it, man. It seems like we're doing polar opposite of what we're doing good at. I'm hoping that these coaching staff can make a pivot, but like, you can't really do it within 4 days to try to prepare for a Seahawks team that's riding high with completely beating the hell out of the Saints, right? You can't pivot like that with the small amount of sample size. But I mean, you can, I guess, if you want to call a little more pass plays and stop running the freaking running back in a stacked box with like 7-8 people there. I guess you can stop that, I guess.
Yeah, and that's the tough part with Seattle is we've done really well. We're basically like a top 2 team in stopping the run right now and go through a variety of different metrics through the first 3 weeks. But the thing that stands out with Seattle with the cover 2 shell and a little bit of the lighter, but they're doing it with lighter boxes. They're not doing it stacking the box as much. And so I wonder in this game if that's going to draw Drew Petzing to say, "Ooh, I got light boxes. I've been going up against, Niners last week, stacking everything every which way but loose. They did that with us as well. Now I got a team showing me light box, but we're playing it so sound right now and see if we can, maybe that'll be a big driver of this team, of this game, of whether or not there's success to either side, is if we can still get away with that on your team, because how's Drew not going to look at that and be like, that's free candy, stealing candy from a baby kind of situation if he's been looking at it on the other side.
Yeah, and then one thing too, like, I mean, I know we were harping on, with Kyler and Drew's got fault, and I think the blame could go anywhere, but like, yeah, last year Drew Petzing was one of the best rushing attack offenses we've had, like, and it was really amazing. It's just like we've taken a regression, and that might be a little bit play into the offensive line. A lot of people like to point the finger at that we no longer have our offensive line coach. He's now the offensive coordinator to the Dallas Cowboys and Clayton Adams. So a lot of people are pointing in that direction as well. But like I said, man, there's finger. It's everywhere. It's multiple different things as to what might be the problem, and those are a lot harder to solve as opposed to that's your main issue. Let me fix it, right? So I don't know, man. It's a mess.
There's always a drive in the sport to go to the simplistic when it's usually much more complicated an answer, because it's so hard to unpack complication. It's like this and this and this, and well, how much of this and how much of that?
Yeah.
As far as you see this game going, you mentioned some of the Cardinals fans aren't the most confident right now, but look, again, you're 2-1. You guys have been getting steadily better under Gannon in recent years. Pew 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 is working. So it's all time moment, man. It's all time. That one in Duvall, man. I got to get that on my soundboard, by the way. You're lucky I haven't got that thing added for the day. I might have that by tonight on the soundboard.
You should get the fire.
You're the shot guy. Shot.
That or the fire in the gut, or did you take the bus here? Like, those are the two. Like, what are you talking about?
Who took the bus here? Who's willing to walk? Who's willing to walk in their feet on glass?
Oh, Gannon.
Hey, he's made it work. So I gave him hell, but I give the guy props. He's not been a bad coach, and he walked in there having to reset some things. So it's decent job he's been able to do. But where do you see this game going? Where's Mike's confidence at walking into this?
It's funny. When we were talking about 49ers Cardinals game, I leaned on to the Cardinals got better from week 1 to week 2 on the offensive side of the ball, and then I thought we were going to kind of keep climbing the ladder and we're going to get better in week 3. And I was 110% wrong. We didn't score more than 30 points on either side of the coin. I think this game is going to be very similar to the San Francisco 49er game, but I'm going to be real. I think their defense is pretty darn solid, especially in the front. Mack Wilson Sr. has been playing out of his mind, and he had a hit on.
He was great in that game.
Dude, this guy looks so good. It's just right now there's a lot of uncertainty with the guy next to him. But I mean, honestly, I think Akeem Davis-Gaither has been pretty solid, and we've kind of had a rotational of guys there. But Mack Wilson Sr. in the middle there has been, man, clutch for us. So I think our defensive side of the ball has been really good. Of course, we got our young guys in the corner, and then we got our veteran safeties back there with Buddha and Jalen Thompson. But we might be seeing some Dadrian Taylor-Demerson kind of being moved into the mix now that, I guess it really just depends if Will Johnson's going to go or not. But I don't know. I see this as a defensive game. Like, anytime we see the Seattle Seahawks, or I guess maybe recency bias, it's a very close kind of game until it kind of cracks open. But I see the Arizona Cardinals making a lot of upgrades on the defensive side of the ball that is going to make an impact in this game. And I see this as a low-scoring event, if I'm going to be real with you. We're going to try to run the ball. Will it be effective? I don't know. We'll have to kind of wait and see how that shakes out. I do think that we're going to see a approach where we are going to try to throw the ball more down the field, where I get a little bit more explosive plays and, taking shots down the field. It's not going to be enough to say, oh, we're a balanced offense, but I think there's been enough chatter and enough anger within this Cardinals fan base that they're going to try to do those type of things out there. But we're going to lean heavy on the run. I think Trey Benson's going to try to find some open holes, cause some, explosive plays. But I want to lean on to the side of the Cardinals. Obviously, I'm a Cardinal fan, but I don't think any of us are going to get more than 20 points. If I'm going to be real. I'm not going to say it's a tie, but I see this game like 19-17 or something like that. Like, I don't know, gritty NFC West type of game where every point matters. Don't get too stingy, right? Don't try to go for it and fourth, especially if you're within field goal range. Take the points, and I think it's going to be very, very good at the end of it all. That's how I see it coming.
I could see it very similar. I absolutely could. And I think how we stop you guys and run the ball is going to be a big factor of this.
Yeah.
Darnold being just so much on time early on and how he's playing within this offense. And you mentioned like last week or you mentioned when the Cardinal defense, that could be a little bit of something they can leave you at times. We'll protect against the deep ball. We'll let you kind of dink and dunk us. We're going to try to stop the run. And Darnold's shown a good acumen so far out the gate here, being able to execute that brand of offense. So it'd be interesting to see how those two kind of things kind of run headlong into each other in this particular game that the Cardinals try to squish down on maybe some of those routes, take some more risks to the back end. That's what teams have done so far for us. Defensively, there's been a lot of, if not stacking the box, bring a lot of congestion down around the front seven and leaving a little bit more space to the back end, saying, hey, we don't think you can take the top off the defense. We don't think you can attack that way. So that'll be kind of interesting thing I'm watching. The other, a lot of them kind of slowly blended on those long. We don't think you can beat us deep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I think I kind of lost you a little bit. There's kind of very skippy. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you're in.
Okay, perfect. I kind of skipped out a little bit. I apologize. What was the question that you asked?
Oh, just no, it was more just the thought on that. Just that I think that the interesting part of this is going to be just how we stop the run against you guys, because you guys are going to be committed to it, and then if you guys how you guys take away the short to intermediate executed offense. The stuff coming under center, play action stuff that we've been really good on. I think, and you mentioned earlier, like that your Cardinal defense kind of goes to depth a little bit and can leave some of the dink and dunk stuff. Last week, Mac being able to kind of pick you, not that you went off, but doing enough, being able to back last drive, and that's where do your Cardinals change that up a little bit? Do they kind of compress things down a little bit, or do they kind of just play their game and trust in that? I think either way, it's going to be probably a fairly low scoring game, but that'll be those 2 points for me. That'll be the interesting spot. So 19-17, who wins this game? I know you didn't say a winner.
I got the cards. I got the cards.
I knew you were going to twist it back around there. I knew
I'm
you were
going to be going to the game. So hopefully I'll give some good juju in State Farm Stadium. Hopefully.
Well, there you go. Should be a fun game here on Thursday night with the short turnaround. Folks, if you could do me this favor, Mike has been so kind to take an hour of his day to hang with us here and chop this up. I've got a link down in the description section directly to Mike's channel here. I also work with him every Tuesday on the NFC West Roundtable, 6:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So do please get subbed up to him. Show him some love here. It's free to do so. Give him that sub over there. Mike, I really do appreciate you coming on in here and helping me kind of chop this up and get this figured out and all that good stuff. I look forward to tonight as well, as we get to go back and forth on that one. And I even think about the good news with Jesse is like, even at 3-0, I think he's still going to kind of come in there like, yeah, we're 3-0. It's,
I'm actually kind of secretly waiting for the whole debate of Mac Jones starting over, Brock Purdy. I already know what's going to happen. So I'm just kind of waiting in the background, kind of waiting for it to implode within their fan base. I'm excited for it.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed with Jesse, because it's something to watch, because he's raked over the coals for not having more of a Brock Purdy love affair session like they do. So you can see at times like he's kind of wanting like a tea kettle, or he's wanting to say more, and tonight's going to say, well, he's going to want to say something, but he's going to have to just kind of like bias, because he just knows it's like, and I've been in the place too, where you have that take and just, that there's the fans, but they're just going to go off the reservation for the take. Essentially. They're just like, how do you do this? Do you even love this team? Do you even love this team?
Just like that. Yep.
Just a take, man. Chill. But that'll be interesting to watch tonight with him, to your point on that with Mac, to see if he starts to drift even a little bit more harder and there's like 53 million.
Yeah, it's gonna be hilarious. Let me ask you real quick. I saw you guys had some people that are already listed as out on your depth chart. Is Witherspoon gonna play?
Witherspoon's kind of still up in the air on that one. Emanwari will be out, I would guess, on this based on the injury he had. Both of them are really, really close. If this was a Sunday game, this might be where both of them play. But partly too is just that your secondary has been doing so good. We've had some of the injuries a little bit like you have a little bit, but the guys really have stepped up in a major way. Not just played the position getting by, but like Darian Kendrick was our highest graded player coming in as your fifth, sixth corner there on the roster into this game, and that's a kid we stole from the Rams. So that he'll be out. I'm not sure on Charbonnet. I would probably be surprised if he probably plays. You've got all your receivers probably going. I know Jackson had like an illness thing, but he should be all right and good to go there, I think. and it's that hamstring. It's kind of like the thing with the groin on Will Johnson.
Yeah.
Hammies and groins are those ones. The only way to get over it is to get it to 100% health stage. And it's very easy to re-injure if it's not at 100% health stage of things. And that's also makes it hard to predict on, who is and who isn't going to play at that point.
Fair.
To that position. So we're gonna be down a couple, but we got a couple guys back in. We should like the depth's been to the corner. You got like an Uchenna Nwosu coming in, helping round out the edge roster as he's kind of coming back into shape a little bit. So we don't have anything that's like, awful. We got a couple, but everybody's dealing with that even at this time, especially this year. I just feels like the injuries have come up more and more here this season earlier on than ever before, as far as the total number, not maybe the severity, but just everybody's getting dinged left, right, and center, it seems like.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Well, thank you today, Mike, for rocking with me here. We, of course, will have you back on here later on in the year when the Cardinals come back around here to Seattle. I would wish your team the best of luck this upcoming Thursday, but I can't do that because I need to get this win. We need to get to 3-1. We need to keep this ball rolling on our side of it. Either way, man, this division, bro, there are no easy outs. There is no feast factor. There is no Tom Brady AFC East. Let me just put my hands behind my head, float on the pool here through 6 games, every division contest I have. We don't get that. It's dogfight. It's a war. We're going to beat the hell out of each other. But maybe at the end of this, Mike, too, and those that do get to the playoffs can be a little bit more battle hardened because of it and more prepared to go make some noise if they do get in the playoffs. Maybe I like to think that, iron sharpens iron, all that other stupid stuff that people say.
Yeah, I like to believe that too, hopefully. And then obviously let's come out of this game healthy. And too many injuries happening in the NFL.
Let's get out healthy. Let's get our mini bye off of that, get refreshed back up to hit into the middle part of the schedule and really start to, both teams then ramp it up and be ready to make some noise. Well, please do, folks, hit that link down in the section to Mike's channel. Get subbed up. It's just down there in the description section below. Show him some love for him coming on in here, taking time out of his day. I can attest it's a busy time of year right now. We're running, we're flying, we're doing everything we can. So, Mike, thank you for taking the time out of your day, man. And I will see you a little bit later on this evening.
Yeah, 4 hours.
4 and a mere couple hours. That's right. 4 hours. We'll be back on. So do join us over in the NFC West Roundtable tonight at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I think Mike's going to be going on with the show here in about another 5 minutes on his channel. And then we're doing a meetup show or meetup event here in about 2 weeks as well. So look forward to meeting you, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Agree, man. Agree.
We're just going to be, we got to go there and it's you and me back to back. Okay. We're going to go in there. You're Cardinal gear. I'm in Seahawks gear. We're in LA Stadium. I mean, we're going to get shivved, brother.
Oh, we are. Yeah.
It's back to back. Okay. As we walk through that stadium, it's just got to be like this, man. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. I mean, I heard the SoFi Stadium is like good area, but like kind of leave a little bit further out. You don't want to venture too far out. I'm just glad we're not going to the Dodger Stadium because then we probably would have been, you know what I'm saying?
It would have got a little worse, but look, we got to wear our gear, man. We got to represent. So, I mean, we got to go into it's like World War I heading onto that battlefield, you know what I mean? Where the guys have got to sprint across and there's some guy with a Gatling gun just like, too bad. We got to enter the fray, brother. This is what being a fan's about. So, plus it'd be hilarious if they like at one point in the telecast, they shoot down to the stadium and you got a dude in the Seahawks shit and the Cardinal gear sitting right next to him. And they're like, what in the hell are these guys doing?
Right.
Here?
Imagine.
Did they not get the memo on this game? Or they'll say like, oh, it's nice to see Cardinal Seahawks fans making peace after their recent.
Right. Seriously, that would be actually pretty funny.
It'd be pretty funny. But I do look forward to meeting you on that one, folks, and be tuned in for that because that's going to be a must-watch TV on that side. So be back here in just a couple hours. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Mike, so much for popping on in. And please don't forget, go Hawks.
Cards.